Washington license plates in November the 2nd. People still don't talk about that. People still say like, oh, but the car had only one license plate because he was from Pennsylvania. Go ahead, Diego.
Oh, no. I'm don't worry about me. Go ahead. I'm
Okay.
listening.
So
Very
it's like he had to change his license plates November the 2nd. As we could tell, this guy was on top of his game as far as his goals and what he wanted to do in life. You know what I mean? Go ahead,
Okay,
Richard.
Johnny Utah. Johnny Utah. I'm a movie guy. Okay, I'm an artist. I'm a movie guy. This and that. I was watching Point Break by Catherine Bigelow, my favorite. Watching it a couple days ago. He was a football star, very good in his field. So he swapped it up and he moved to another location. He went undercover, and everybody thought that he was a loon, whatnot, or I mean, jackass, whatever, and everything. He had to infiltrate, and he was one of the smarter individuals. Not necessarily. Well, Johnny Utah wasn't the smartest per se, though. He's a surfer. He was able to flow with the vibes. What would Bryan Kohberger's vibe be? His vibe would be criminology and surfing that lane. That is his specialty. What if there's a bad seed in that area, corruption, let's say, and I'm saying the police were working with the FBI or something. This is just one theory. I've got a few, but this is one that I'm vibing on right now. Is the police, it was planted on purpose to take the attention away from the actual individuals, because why else were there 54 FBI agents there that weekend before the incident, and then 16 or 14 more afterwards, and then all the undercovers that we're hearing about, this and that, potentially.
Yeah, but if you go that direction, Richard, I respect that. I do. But if you go that direction, in my opinion, you also have to ask, did it start? Is it from the get-go? Is it from go, or is it somewhere after the fact? Meaning, were they involved in the actual entire situation, or did that rogue officer get involved during the investigation?
Okay, I'm going to say something, and I reserve the right to change this at any time, because obviously I think a little bit more abstractly, what if Payne is not the jerk that a lot of people seem to think he is? Because he did fly out. I mean, he was the one who spotted it, and he did have to change his, or he had multiple stories, la-di-da. I mean, there's so many inconsistencies. And yeah, this and that. Now I'm just throwing this out there to interview Bryan Kohberger. From my understanding, he had 15 minutes with him.
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that Bryan said was anybody else arrested. I think that was cultivated, and I do believe that Bryan knew that he was going to be followed. Now, going on your thing, and I'm kind of combining now. If he was to put trash in the other bin as a signal, well, perhaps when they got pulled over,
Hi, baby.
And it was brought up the shooting at Washington, maybe this is all being tied together and signals are being sent over. Okay, that might be a little bit too theatrical, but you see what I'm saying? Like, he knew that either if he's not an agent, okay, then he knew that he was being followed and that he would be a suspect for whatever reason, and we'd like to know why. Because why bring up that guy in 7 states over that has nothing to do with anything, especially Thai food?
I want to say, far as the DNA data, I remember that they were allegedly watching him clean his car on the car wash.
Yeah.
So who tells me that they didn't went to the trash in that car wash and get DNA from there and plant it on the cheek?
Yeah, they could have got his DNA from McDonald's 3 weeks earlier for
just as a possibility, just speedball.
Yeah, no, I know, I agree. It's curious, why did they wait? And like, he drove because of weather, this and that. Yeah, certainly he did go down to Nevada, which happens to be kind of near where Bethany's family lives. And then they lost him for 11 hours or whatnot, and then they pick up with him again and dingbat. They pulled him over twice within 10 minutes. So I wonder what the first stop did not accomplish. questions like that.
They didn't Indianapolis police again, if you send a BPA for a car, for a particular car nationwide, Indianapolis, as soon as they ran the license plate, the sensor ran the license plate, they would have point guns at him and get him out the car, brought back to so it was really no BPA on that particular car. The cops nationwide did not have an idea. This is why I cannot believe Moscow PD was looking for him, or that they were worried about when he left the state, when they knew he left the state. Like, you had him already for a month. If you have anything for that, if you have anything against that guy, why you waited until he went back home for the vacations? He still have his key of his office. He still have not been fired or whatnot from Pullman. It seems that he was coming back after Christmas vacation. So it's like, if you had this guy for a whole month and you had something against him, why you waited for him to go back home for vacation and then say like he's running away from this case? And then if you do think that way, right? So then why, if you think that he's running away, why you didn't put a nationwide BPA, so as soon as any other agency from other states stop him on a traffic stop or whatnot, wouldn't brought him back in? You didn't have to send no FBI, you didn't have to send no marshals, you didn't have to spend all that money doing this and that, create this big show that he's running away. Because as soon as you send a BPA, any sensor nationwide and the highways, that sensor on the highway will send a BPA. A patrol cruise is going to be right behind you, even though if they didn't see you. Air vigilance, like they have drones watching the highways with sensors. So if that drone get a BPA alert and that drone get the signal out of that car, the drone is gonna send a patrol car after him. So they didn't have to do all that at the end of the day if it was a serious matter. Go ahead, Lego.
Nothing. I was just making a point with Cowboy's comment there, stating that he didn't want his father to say he's an agent to the cops. And if that were true, okay, if he was doing something like that, his reaction to what his father was saying is kind of fitting, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. The look on his face when his dad starts talking, I'm not saying that he was, guys. I'm just saying this is another what if comment. But
he's playing devil's advocate.
Right. If you look at this, I mean, the reaction in that video, if you go back and watch that Indiana stop, it kind of fits with this comment, folks. It really does. Because he looked at his dad real quick as if it's like, what do you say?
If you ask
how many people on panel have been pulled over for following too close?
If you ask me, Dago,
not twice in 10 minutes.
Due to the heat.
Ever in your life, have you ever been pulled over for following too close?
Never.
No.
Do you know anybody that's been pulled over for that?
Never.
And I'm in Indiana, so.
Never. I've never been pulled over by that.
I'll tell you right now, I've never. Here's something else I want you to understand. I don't know what Indiana's like. Now, in Ohio, the Ohio State Patrol they're assholes. They will pull you over if your finger's hanging out the window, okay? But never for that. Now, to be pulled over by a state patrol officer on an interstate highway makes a lot of sense to me. But to be pulled over by a county sheriff's deputy does not make any sense to me, because jurisdictionally, at least in Ohio, they don't deal with the freeways, the highways, the interstates at all.
Never. They do here.
Okay, well, that's why that doesn't make sense to me, because we don't do that around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't. At least here in Ohio, where I'm at, they like the sheriff, like they don't mess around with traffic.
Yeah, the sheriff
like that.
And,
the sheriff
and the county he was in is like just outside of the city limits, so that's probably why.
Okay,
in Ohio, about that.
Yeah, in Ohio, our sheriff's deputies, they're pretty much in the rural areas. They deal with like the country areas, because the places that don't have city police. That's pretty much what they do. Townships and stuff like that. The